Welcome to the Groomer next door. You're listening to my mommy and daddy.
And now our feature presentation.
Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 35 of the Groomer Next Door. I'm your co-host Chris Green. Sitting next to me as always is the lovely and talented Sarah Green.
Hello.
And of course we have our little special guest, Claire.
Hi.
Well, okay, I thought you were getting close to the mic for that one.
Hi.
She's going subtle now. Well, this is a great episode. This is a great episode. We've made two new friends, and we really want to that's what we're going to make this whole episode about, is the two new friends that we have made. Our number one friend that we made was with the Animal Wellness magazine. Great magazine, really dedicated to put a lot of information out there for all pet owners, whether you own a dog, a cat. Great information on there. We'll talk a lot about them in this episode. And an organization that we really like. I can't really say enough about it. I will, but definitely a lot to say about it, and that's the Purple Leash campaign. Two great sets of people, obviously lots of people involved in them both. So we wanted to actually dedicate this episode completely to those two. Anything you want to say? No?
Not really. I'm going to be probably a little more somber this episode. One thing that we haven't gone over yet is what happened to us this week.
Well, yeah, we'll go into that now. Is in a life of a groomer, which will be our first part of this. So we'll dive right in. Let's go on with the what's been going on this week.
Well, it's pretty much everything happened at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Friday again.
Thursday,
that's right, because we're 4th
short
of
week.
July,
Yeah.
Thursday, Chris had to rush me off to the ER again. What the doctors originally thought was just a kidney infection, a UTI, turned out to be an actual kidney infection, kidney stone, and a UTI.
Yep. You got the trifecta.
So I had all of it. And they kept me in pain a little bit longer this time than we did last. Last time they made sure I was comfortable rather quickly.
Yeah, they really kind of medicated you right at the beginning,
also,
the first time.
The nurse last time was a customer of mine.
Yeah, made a little bit of a difference.
This time, this lady she had a min pin that she said she's going to bring in to get nail trim, because, of course, when you're in dying, agonizing pain, you're still going to talk about grooming.
I'm hurting. I'm going to die. Hey, by the way, what kind of dog do you have?
Roxy? Rox. Sorry, guys. Roxy, Katana, and Bella are out here, and Roxy was staring at some people that were walking behind the house at Aircorn Trail. But so, they've got me on quite a few painkillers, or not painkillers, I think of that. Antibiotics, some other stuff, and
But
fun.
on the plus side, after your CT, the doctor said that you would actually have, if you had any problems, it would have been that Friday or Saturday. It's Sunday.
Well, it could be like last time where it lasted, it was dormant for 2 weeks and then decided to, pop its little ugly head out and say, I'm going to screw with your day.
Well, I wish it would pop its head out, because that means you'd be rid of it. Yeah, unfortunately it hasn't.
Kidney stones are not fun, guys. Luckily, the customers that we had that day actually got them all.
We did get them all done. Actually,
what happened was I got Chevy and Sophie done, which is an Airedale and Aussie.
Yep.
One of the local business owners here. It was kind of nice. Pam's a sweet lady. And then my other guy is Cyrus. Well, I finished Cyrus on the 4th of July. He was being boarded, and while there was people over at the kennel doing let-outs and feedings and, play times and such, I snuck in, I did my groom and went home because Cyrus was being boarded for the weekend. He should be picking up today.
Yeah, he did pick up today.
So, we'll see if the kidney stone will pass. They said it's larger than normal.
Yeah, you have a 6 millimeter kidney
stone.
stone. Yeah.
They said 5 is huge, and 6 is just abnormal. And so, sorry. Yeah, time to go in the house, honey.
So, yeah, that was a rough Thursday. Considering we were trying our best to kind of get done with our day so we could start our long weekend, which felt like it just started.
We had some customers that had to reschedule since they were leaving town right then and there.
Oops, I have a appointment. Uh-oh.
Exactly. So they called and rescheduled their appointment till after the 4th. Actually, a couple weeks after the 4th, since we're about 3 weeks old booked up. And that's with 2 groomers and a bather.
Yeah, we are locked down like no other.
So,
Well, I know you and I. My gosh, every day it's like, you know when you go into work, you know you're gonna have a busy day. You just know there's no way around it. You're gonna have a busy day. It's not gonna stop. I'm sure a lot of people out there go through this every day. They know the exact. It's like I'm going to work tomorrow. It's Monday, great, and I know it's going to be busy. And then of course I have to worry about you and your whole situation.
yeah, they said to stay active and do your exercises and whatnot, and to stay active. It'll help pass. Well, I was active the full 2 weeks.
That
They
was
said
the
it
funny
can't-
part. You were active, and it seemed like you had more problems being active.
Well, that's what they said. You know, if it's going to come out from being active, you're going to get pain for being active. But they said what happened originally was that I was passing the kidney stone from my kidney to my bladder. And the stone's been just hanging out in my bladder for 2 weeks.
So pretty much, it went from the original time where you first had your pain was in your bladder. During that pain time, that's when it traveled.
No, it was in my kidney, then
Oh,
traveled to my
sorry,
bladder.
I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I was watching a firefly
And now
above
it
my
left,
head.
left the bladder heading out, and oh yeah, that was fun. 30-minute wait in the ER while you're in agonizing pain as a prisoner from the sheriff's.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I don't think I've actually mentioned. So in my history of experience in life, I worked for a hospital in public safety. It was entertaining to say the least, but very trying would be the right word. Whenever you would get a prisoner from a local jail or somebody who had just been arrested.
Now on Belle's head, there's like the plug on Belle's head.
Yeah, well, she should
still
wipe it
there.
off. So what's funny is when you work in that kind of environment, you get used to it. A prisoner will come in. It could be a 5150, which is a crazy, or it could just be somebody who's got hurt in the middle of whatever they were doing, and then they're under arrest. They come in, whatever. Well, we get there, and there's this one. He looked pretty young.
Yeah, he looked to be in his early 20s.
I'd say early 20s, yeah. He's sitting there in general pop, just in the waiting room. And, I mean, I didn't notice this because I was focused on you at the time, but I saw him sitting there with
Mitts.
well,
Mitts.
I didn't see the mittens. I saw the guy who was a police officer, but I didn't even look at him as a police officer. He looked,
sheriff.
yeah, he looked different. So it was interesting. So he gets up and he kept looking over, but I think he was watching the TV. I'm hoping.
He only called me there for a little bit. I'm like,
I see. I didn't see it as much. I wasn't paying as much attention. So they call him and he goes in, and then all of a sudden I see this guy get up, and I swear it was like he was in a potato sack. It looked like a potato sack for clothing, and here he's got these funky shoes and shackles, and his hands are cuffed, and he's got these like
oven mittens.
they look like oven mittens, right? Yeah,
It looked like oven mittens with no thumbs.
Right. It was so odd, and he kind of shuffles, and it's like,
And you hear the tinging.
Yeah.
The tinging from the pretty bracelets on his
the pretty
ankles.
bracelets, they weren't pretty. I would not want to wear those. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, that is just so weird. I mean, personally, and I mean, I can only speak for myself. It would be so hard to sit there knowing that, I'm in shackles and everything else. I couldn't. The embarrassment factor alone would get me alone. But oh my gosh, that was an experience. I mean, and I used to see this all the time. Even I was surprised by it.
Yeah, people were staring. I was like, I'm not staring. I'm just totally focused on trying to get over this pain. You know, trying that whole mind over matter.
And I'm just thinking, what's he baking?
If your kidney is about ready to explode, there is no, mind over matter.
Take a salt tablet.
Right. And then pacing back and forth because it hurt to sit was absolutely amazing. So, due to that fact, I'm kind of wiped out.
Yeah, you've been wiped out ever since. You have not been yourself all weekend. It's actually been kind of trying because it's like, this isn't my Sarah. You're not your normal self. You're completely a different person. So, we were laughing because our life is relatively normal and quiet. And this has just been completely odd to us. I mean, for me, it's taken everything and thrown it around. I normally go to work with you. We have a normal life. Everything's quiet. We come home, we do it again. It's normal.
Yeah, play with Claire.
Yeah.
Play with the dog.
When I say we don't argue, we don't have any kind of issues, I mean, seriously, it's one of those things. We never argue. We have a lot of fun. We have our downtime, but it's simple. We play with our dogs. We play with our cats. And it's normal. But then you have this happen. It's like, oh my gosh, my world's upside down. This is so weird.
Well, if I don't pass the kidney stone, since it's so large, they're going to do one of two things. And one is use an ultrasound to shatter it. They say it kind of just explodes it. And then you're peeing out a ton of little teeny itty bitty
shards.
Yeah, shards. Or they're going to have to surgically remove it.
Whee!
But the doctor said in the next day or two I should either...
You would have known. He said you would have known something. It would have passed.
Yeah. You would have known it.
Which is odd.
And I haven't had any of that, so there might be a day this week that I'm going to have to be rushed to the emergency room again.
Swear, this is completely disrupting my life. This is so making my normal life go weird.
Well, we're still very lucky to have the most amazing customers.
Yeah.
Folks, this is another thing you guys gotta realize too. If there's an emergency, if the groomer hurts themselves, or if, like in my case, was rushed to the ER, please be understanding. Don't be rude to the owner of the shop. Don't be rude to the people who work there. Just know that there is an emergency. It's legitimate, that they're not going to just blow you off because they don't want to work. One time, Claire fell and split her chin wide open.
That was the worst day of my life.
I worked at the other salon, and there was a new girl that was working there. I had to leave it up to the new girl to call the customers, let them know, hey, I'm sorry, your dog's not finished. I had this dog locked out with a volleyball for a head because I finished everything but its head. It was right close to closing time anyways. I had about half an hour's worth of work left, and we closed in about half an hour.
Yeah, it happened about 4 o'clock that she did that fall last year. Oh gosh, that was awful.
So I had to come back home and get Claire and Chris and go to the emergency room.
Well, we had one car here, and it was like, oh my god. Well, we didn't have a car here. You had the car. There wasn't a car at home.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh, I don't normally panic. I panicked on that one.
So I threw down my shop key, told the girl to put away the money, to call the customers, and rushed over here. And sure enough, we get to the hospital. They take Claire in relatively quickly, not too quick. But I told them, look, I got a daughter that split her chin open. She wants to fall asleep right now. Please take her. So we got back there and come to find out, the same nurse that was my customer ended up being the same customer.
That actually worked on you the first time that we went a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of funny how that works.
Wow, it really was one. But normally last week was pretty normal. Nothing really major took place besides, more kidney stone drama.
Was it last week that Ziva and her mom brought in the Chihuahua mix?
That I don't know, but we do have to touch on the story that followed. Last Monday, we did have a follow-up of the Tri-County story. As some of you know, we did our first video podcast about a week ago, and a week ago, this past Saturday, we were at Tri-County Humane Society out in St. James, Missouri. When we finished recording, we had, everything was put away. A lady had brought in her dog that she had adopted a few days prior. I can't remember the name.
The dog's name is Bella.
Bella, thank you. I should remember that.
They brought Bella back to the Humane Society due to the fact that Bella wasn't getting along with the cat and an older dog. That the dog really should be put in a single dog home.
Which let us actually sidebar this. When you bring a new dog into the house, now we've done this before. We've experienced it now twice. When you bring a new dog into a house, they have to acclimate to your current dogs that you already have. That does not happen right away. For anybody that's looking to adopt, you have to have a transition period. You can't.
Sometimes it's really easy. There's no issues. The biggest issue that we had was bringing Katana into Roxy's life.
That was a scare.
It wasn't too hard bringing Belle into Roxy and Katana's life. It wasn't.
I thought there was more of a difficult time bringing Belle in than Katana.
I didn't see that.
Really?
No, because Roxy and Katana wanted to eat each other.
I guess so.
They were going to fight. So we had to put them on leashes and introduce them day by day. So, Katana kind of stayed with us in her bedroom, or Roxy stayed with my dad in his bedroom, or, just kind of slowly but surely do that. That's a weird sense of playing.
That is really strange. I'm watching the two. I'm watching Belle Grande is the Chihuahua, and Roxy is the Lab Pit mix. Exactly. Those two, they pretty much. Obviously, a Chihuahua is going to have that dominance factor.
Napoleon complex.
Yes.
As I like to call it.
Yes. I really felt like Belle did not get along with Katana, but Katana was kind of punking her a lot.
Yeah, Katana wanted to play.
Yeah.
Katana wanted to play with her. They're like, ooh, a squeak toy.
Well, that's what she is. So, I noticed that Roxy and Belle got along a lot quicker. Now I see them all really doing well together. But back to the story, the lady said that her dogs didn't acclimate to this new dog.
Well,
this new
Bella
dog didn't
was
acclimate.
Nippy.
Yeah.
It was nippy towards the other two.
Which was a little odd. So, anyway.
When that situation happens, dogs can be trained. Like Jessie Queen said, you can teach an old dog new tricks. And Bella's not old. Bella was only a couple years old.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 at best, 4.
Yeah, Grande, our Chihuahua, is older.
Yeah, I say Grande is around 7.
I think 6, but okay.
Cool. Anywho, they could have, if they wanted to, put the effort out. They could have trained Bella to be, easy with the older dog and leave the cat alone.
Yeah.
Our cats teach the dogs to leave them alone, and they don't listen, but the dogs suffer the consequence.
Well, look at Callie. Callie's our calico. She just swats at all of them in play, but still, she gets right in there.
I remember that one time she got a hold of Katana's tail, and it was sliding across the room, and Katana's spinning, trying to get her off, and, Callie's just holding on dear life.
Which this will happen when you're adopting pets. They have to acclimate. So when Bella was dropped off on Saturday, subsequently on Sunday, one of our customers went into Tri-County and adopted Bella. So Bella was back in Tri-County for maybe 24 hours at best. And of course she brought Bella in to us on Monday, but not knowing what we did. She didn't know we did the podcast because that actually went live by then, but she's not on there. She didn't know about it. So it was a really remarkable story of how quick turnaround it could happen. A dog could be brought back, didn't work out for one family, and Bella was adopted the next day. Apparently she got along really well with her current.
Well, yeah, because Ziva is pretty laid back. And actually, I saw a change in Ziva just within that 24 hours, because it was 24 hours from when the lady adopted Bella to when Ziva and Bella came in. Ziva was typically, it was, she likes to move. She likes to lick. She loves to constantly do stuff that she wants to do and not exactly what the groomer wants to do. And this time, Ziva just let me do whatever I want. She sat still. But Ziva is very laid back when it comes to Bella. Ziva likes Bella. And even though Bella tries to be the boss, Ziva allows it. So the transitioning there was a little better.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that
she had to correct Bella a couple times, but that's in a way of training. Any dog can be trained. Some dogs, it'll be more dramatic to try to train them and then cause mental scarring on the other dog. Mm-hmm. So then you don't want that dog in a multiple dog home. It's just a risk you kind of take. And if it doesn't work out, then you need to make sure you do what you can to take that dog that you just adopted, either take it back to the shelter or find it another home.
And do it the proper way.
The proper way, not just say free to go home.
Yeah, like we saw kittens in the back of that truck, free kittens, in a Walmart parking lot. That's a brilliant idea, folks.
The guy had a Katana.
It was
chasing a firefly.
Well, that's Katana. She's playful. So that was the highlight. I mean, now I'm telling this last part of the story not because I want any kind of accolades or we want a pat on the back or an attaboy, but we gave Bella a free bath, nail trim, and nail grinding. Didn't charge her anything, just so that we were able to give her a nice sprucing up to her new home.
And to thank the lady for doing it.
Yeah.
I've always said this at Rolla Animal Shelter, Tri-County Humane Society, wherever they adopt, they gotta let me know.
Yep.
They gotta let me know, and I'll do something for them.
Yep.
One thing I posted on Rolla Animal Shelter quite a few times was that you get 2 grooms at half off. Yep. I work on commission only.
Which a lot of people, we'll touch on that one since you just brought up. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know very many groomers that are paid hourly. Most of them are on commission. At the big box pet store that I worked at, we were commission or hourly, whichever was higher. If your commissions were higher than your hourly, which typically happened, you got your commission. If for some odd reason you're going to get in trouble, but if it does happen, you get your hourly if it's more than your commission, slow weeks or whatnot.
Which that did make it nice though in some sense,
in
because
case
you had
know for a fact if you show up, you're going to get some kind of money.
Yeah, you had a little net underneath you.
Yeah, well here it's
you never once had that, but there were
I had it I think once. It was because we were working with a dog hog. There was somebody who groomed 16 dogs in one day, and I mean groom, not just bathing, full on groom. The lady would throw out $20 to bathe her, to bathe all her dogs plus their dogs, so she can bust out 16.
Yeah.
That was put to stop real quick. Big box pet stores, they don't allow crap to happen.
Yeah.
They are so worried of lawsuits that they see one of their employees doing something wrong, they're fired immediately. I mean, I've seen it happen as someone comes in and says, you know what, you're fired, get your stuff, leave. And then we had to pick up their dogs and finish them.
Right.
So, no nonsense.
There's definitely, there is a lot of rules and regulations on those places. And the people who work there have to abide by at least a dictionary-sized book of rules.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why I never became a manager there. But,
how many times was that offered, though? So,
I would like to give a first groom a free groom, but I still need to make some kind of commission.
Yeah, because you got to imagine it. We're talking, a typical groom with bath, groom, and everything could be an hour and a half, 2 hours, just depending on how big the dog is, how the dog reacts, and it's starting to rain.
Yeah, it's sprinkling.
Yeah, that's weird.
So we try to do 50% off, and then if it's a small dog like a Chihuahua or something, we could do really quickly. We've okayed it with Keith. He doesn't mind us using a shampoo. He goes, basically, whatever you guys want to do it. Okay, no problem. So we keep, his
Cost.
it costs
Yeah.
at mind, in mind. But something like nail grinding, the ear cleaning, a bath on a little dog doesn't really hurt.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to do. And you never know. If you adopt a dog, you can always call a grooming salon and ask if they have any kind of
grooming,
deals.
adoption deals.
I know
And
some
what's
people.
great though is that we have both Tri-County and Raw Animal Shelter who continuously they tell people when they pick up the dogs when they're adopted, they physically tell them that, hey, if you go over to Shadowwood, they'll do this for you, which is nice.
Yeah, and you got to look at it. Some people, they give out 10% discounts. I don't quite care for 10% discounts. It really doesn't.
Because $20, that's still
That's
$2. It's like, ooh, wow.
No.
Let me throw this at you. I'll give it to you as a tip. So you still got the money. I mean, BFD.
So 10% off does, no, I'm sorry.
It's almost a slap in the face. It is a slap in the face, but whatever.
Yes, it's, a penny saved.
It's kind of like offering a shave down without giving a bath. It's like, really, seriously, I mean, you're just giving them a nice cut down.
But we do 50% first 2 grooms. That's the least we can do to help save a life.
Yeah.
And whatever it would take, if you bring in a $40 dog that's supposed to be a haircut, we're not going to jack up the price just so we give, we still get more money.
Yeah.
No, we'll give you the true price. So if you're spending $40 for a haircut normally when you go in, and you're only spending $20 the first 2 times, $40 savings is pretty good.
All right.
$35 savings is pretty good.
Well, I think we're going to move on from what happened in this past week. Let's start talking about 2 people that we're really excited about. Right?
Sure.
All right. Well, we'll start off with Animal Wellness Magazine. For all of you who aren't aware of them, they are just a great publication. You can either see them on the digital format, which I do love digital formats to receive your magazines through digital.
That's what you do with your game.
I do. I have one of my magazines I receive every month. I get it in digital format. Get it in digital on your iPad, and
It'll be nice if Pet Edge and Ryan's Pet Supplies did that.
I imagine eventually it will, if they haven't started yet. The idea, but
I'm just missing something.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be, it may not be. I don't know. But a digital copy is really great because then you don't have all these magazines laying around.
Go Grande.
And you don't have all these problems going on. I remember when I had my magazines coming in, I used to have a library of magazines that I could almost just, it was like a waste of paper.
I know, save a tree.
And it's, what I like about digital copies is that you can have every copy with you, which you can have 50 copies with you, and it's just in your in your tablet.
Yeah.
So it's great. So Animal Wellness Magazine, they do their digital, they have their physical, they have their website. I mean, these guys are amazingly put together. Whoever does all their stuff, I'm quite impressed. So we became friends with them. They're not a sponsor of ours. We're not getting anything from them. They're not getting anything from us. They just have become part of our support group, our friends. And, with everybody who is in that circle, we always take good care of them. We always like to talk about them. We like to bring it out there to everybody who is not aware of, these different things and talk about it. So, little things about the Animal Wellness Magazine. Like I said, you have a few different options of receiving their magazines. You can look on their website. Just go to www.animalwellnessmagazine.com, and they have so much. They talk about health, they talk about nutrition, they talk about training, they talk about lifestyle, ambassadors, contests, marketplace, their library. They have so much going on. And, it's not just about dogs. They also talk about cats. Let's see. There's
Technical difficulties, folks. Sorry.
well, having to bring the dogs in at the same time, it's you might as well put a little stop. But they talk about so much on here. I mean, we talk about a lot, and we kind of mirror, we mirror how they see things. You can't have enough info out there when it comes to pet health, pet safety, pet wellness, which is why we're a good fit to kind of align ourselves with people like this, because we want the same thing they want.
Well, it's just like the same thing. I've said this before. If groomers were to work together, they can get more accomplished and have a better outlook with each other all around. Yeah, it's competition, but at the same time, if they work together, pets would be taken care of no matter what. It's the same thing with this. We all have a common goal in life, that we want to help out pets, we want to help out owners, and anything that comes from A to Z.
Right.
So this is the same thing. We saw this, Chris saw this, and decided to look into it more.
And once we start talking, I start talking to the magazine, and we just kind of went back and forth for about a week or two, just talking. And it's like, well, what do you do? This is what I do. What do you do? Oh, okay. And then it became hey, we kind of are on the same page here. I mean, we do our internet radio show, podcast, however you want to, title this. And you guys have your magazine, we're right out there. We're doing the same thing.
So
I'm
we
looking.
take our powers and put them together.
Yeah, you put everything together, and you can definitely go out there.
Yeah, this is the big thing that we've been talking about.
Yep. It's funny. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking of Kim right now. Feline wellness, and it looks like it's actual magazine or article in here. Boy, I could just think of her just probably enjoying every minute of that one. But, there's so many different things. I mean, it just goes down to everything that we've talked about for, 34 episodes prior to this one. That just, really does a lot. I mean, they even have another podcast on here, and I have no problems talking about other podcasts as well. I don't know these people, but I have no problems talking about other podcasts because, honestly, we're all in it to, talk about somebody and talk about the different things that we're interested in. There's one that's called Ontario SPCA. There's always going to be different formats to podcast out there. Obviously, how many hundreds of thousands of podcasts are out? We're just one. But, it's just a lot of information. I encourage everybody, when you're done with this, or if you're looking at their website right now, if you haven't, take a look at it, because I've spent a lot of time on their website, like their Facebook page. I do. Talk to them on Facebook. That's one place that I go.
It's finding credible sources to get your information from. That's the biggest part. It's like somebody trying to say, oh, you can give your dogs garlic to keep mosquitoes away. That came up on one social media site that we were on.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
We got an argument. And the biggest thing here is garlic is dangerous for dogs.
Oh, but
you don't want to be slowly poisoned yourself, so why would you slowly poison your dog?
But I know a dog breeder who's been doing it for decades. And the funny part about that argument is I actually sent medical text to every little bit of that, discrediting the whole thing. That person was not going to let it go.
No.
Not for a second.
You got to be careful where you get your information from.
I also want to mention, if you have iPhone or Android phone, they also have an actual app. The Animal Wellness magazine has an app for your phone, your iPad, your iPhone. So that's always interesting to have. So I'm not trying to peddle anything out there. I just love giving information out.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly peddling. It's just helping, trying to help folks, trying to help them get, different stuff they might not know of. Some people don't like Facebook.
Yeah.
There's some people that absolutely despise it and don't go on it. That's fine, because there's a lot of drama caused on it. One business can cause a lot of drama for another business.
That is true.
We've witnessed firsthand.
Yeah.
Anywho, so this gives you an outlet. Okay, it's an actual website. It's credited. they have how many likes on Facebook?
Oh my gosh, I think they're like 200 and something thousand likes on Facebook, which
Exactly.
probably doesn't even reach what their publication subscription is. I mean, I would at least give that 2 to 3 times more. So you're talking about 1 million subscriptions a month, probably,
Maybe.
and I'm being generous, probably more. Could be less, could be more. I mean, I don't know. I don't see their stuff in front of me, but definitely a magazine that I definitely enjoy looking at their stuff.
Yeah, there's several pet magazines out there,
Yeah.
but some cater to certain breeds, some cater to certain aspects. You know, this one pretty much caters to
Animals in plural.
just health and wellness.
Yeah, which
it's
is
not
something.
saying, oh, this was a champion and it's won all its titles. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of magazines that are only going to be dog friendly, only going to be cat friendly, only going to be friendly to certain things. This one is all around. It's kind of like we kind of go in the full realm. We're not going to just go one way. We want you to, if you have a pet, we want to be able to cover that, and that's why we give it the support we do, because it's something that we can actually get behind and enjoy and know that at least somebody else is doing what we're doing. So, yeah, definitely give them a look. Of course, I'm not going to say go and subscribe, please, 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 but, it would be nice.
It's beneficial for you.
It really is. And, of course, I always say get it on digital because, my gosh, I mean, especially, again, for people who are conscientious to the earth, like to go green, there's another great reason to go green is you get it digital, then you don't actually, take paper, kill trees, all that. Even if it's recycled paper, still, if you want to go
That
green.
recycle can go somewhere else.
Yeah. So, there's
Schools.
Yep. There's just an
They
option.
go through a ton of paper.
Oh my gosh, don't they? But that's definitely one option. I mean, I definitely suggest, give them a look, go to their website, take a look at their app, look at their Facebook.
But they also
They have great people that they get behind too, which segues into our next topic. I found this organization because of Animal Wellness Magazine, and that is, it's called Purple Leash Campaign, and it's absolutely just it's kind of a sad situation in life, but unfortunately
there's a need for it.
there is definitely a need for it. I can't express how much of a need there is for it. These
But
guys
what
are
all
great.
do they cover though? They do cover a couple different things.
They do.
I know one that kind of tugged at my heart was animals that are subjected to abuse in the home. Like battered women who have
Yes.
animals. They're in a very abusive relationship. Typically, it's physical. I know there's mental abuse out there too, but this particular one's the physical. And normally what happens, the animal that they love the most is also being abused.
Right.
It's not just the woman, it's not just the children, it's the animals too.
And what's sad is that it's not always a man who has to abuse a woman. Women abuse men and animals just as much.
Well, I mean, you can even go into the same-sex marriages where there is abuse.
There's always abuse. Yeah.
There's going to be abuse in any kind of partnership.
Yep.
So any person could be the abuser.
Yep. And anybody
we
can be
have-
abused, sadly enough.
We had a sad situation
Yeah.
at Shadowwood, and when Keith told me there's the cicadas that I was talking about.
And you know what? You talked about it last week, how we haven't heard it. Now they're going to make their appearance. And cue the cicadas.
So when I heard about the situation from Keith, it broke my heart. I'm so happy Keith was there to take care of this cat. We have a house cat, a shop cat. His name's Buddy. Buddy is...
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Buddy is extremely disabled. He was a subject of an abusive home. The boyfriend wanted to get back at the girlfriend and kicked Buddy's back end very hard.
He must have just...
It had to throw that cat across the room how hard he kicked it. Because when the vet got to him, the vet got it to a point where he was just going to be paralyzed but not in pain. He can still move around. Well, eventually, Buddy learned how to walk.
Which he was not supposed to walk again.
He wasn't supposed to walk again. And his legs wobble and they're real low. You can tell something was either deformed or something happened to the cat. Customers ask us all the time because the cat just wanders. And he's old, too. He's not a young cat.
He's 15, 16?
Something like that.
He's on our website.
Yes.
If you go to thegroomernextdoor.squarespace.com, he is on there. I forget exactly where I titled it. It's one of the pages.
He's wearing a little tie.
Yep, you'll see the picture. He's the main page, but yeah.
So,
I think it's where we work, if I'm not mistaken, or I put it.
Okay. Well, the vet told Keith he couldn't keep him there, and he doesn't know what to do with him because he has special needs. And Keith said, "Well, you just found yourself someone to take the cat from you." So Keith went ahead and adopted the kitty. And Buddy's been living large and loving
until
it.
the Dobie got to him a few months ago.
Well, the Dobie kind of lunged at him, but even after that,
he's so friendly and so adorable.
He just wanted to cuddle. That's all he wanted. Well, the Dobie lunged and he stayed in his little corner for a little bit.
Which was funny though, because he never went into where the groomers groom. He never went in there until we got there. And a few months after we were there, every time he comes in and
says hello, what's up?
Pick him up.
You can tell at first he, for some reason, didn't want to go into the grooming salon. You know, he just never went.
Spike never comes in. I want him to come in too. I'm always saying, "Come on, Spike."
Well, we decided to pick Buddy up and bring him into the salon and pet him and stuff and let him go so he can walk out of the salon. You know, because it's his house. This is his place. And, you know, we're very conscientious of whether or not Buddy's too close. He typically stays in the manager's office or the office where the cats are and just hangs out in there. But I know there was a couple people that thought that he should be put down.
No, he's so adorable.
Happy. He's well fed.
Oh my gosh, he's well taken care of.
Well
I mean,
treated.
every day somebody plays with them, picks them up, pets them.
Customers.
Oh gosh, me.
Well, like I said, there's healing powers in a purr.
Yeah.
And he purrs like nobody's business. You barely touch him and he purrs.
He's like, "Oh my gosh, you like me? You like me?" It's like, "Of course I like you."
So, you know, he was a victim of an abusive home.
Right.
And this Purple Leash campaign helps the battered women keep the animals that they have and they love so that animal doesn't become a victim of the abuse.
Well, I'm going to read their about, so it kind of gives a full range about it, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm okay.
Okay. When you actually go, and please, everybody, please, when you're done listening to this or while you're listening to this podcast, please go to purpleleash.com. Take a look at this stuff because honestly, these guys are phenomenal. I encourage everybody who's listening to go to their page, just like I do Animal Wellness Magazine. But please go to this page. If you're a pet lover, this is definitely something I want you to look at. It gets to me each time. But I'm going to read to you what they're about, and you can read it, of course, as well. But under about, it says, okay, Animal Rescue has been saving dogs. From high kill shelters since 2010 and has successfully rehomed over 550 wonderful dogs. Animal wellness is on the mind of every volunteer at the rescue. So when a local news story about a puppy being brutally killed during a domestic violence broke the group...
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a typo there.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Broke the group. The group knew it was time to act. The Purple Leash campaign was born. So, pretty much, that first group, Animal Rescue, it pretty much changed into the Purple Leash campaign. With the help of volunteers and profound knowledge of the situation, women and children endure the to Domestic Violence, an action group was created to find a way to make a difference. Now, this is a Canadian research right here that indicates that more than 40% of women experiencing domestic violence and who own a pet significantly delay their escape to safety if it means leaving the pet behind. Now, I'm going to say this. It's not only Canadian research. I mean, I would pretty much say that would be even U.S. research as well. I'm going to sidebar again from a story we heard in Tri-County. Going to kind of make it as quickly as possible, but there was a lady who was getting a divorce. The husband actually left the pets on the property of the home. The woman, in spite, decided that she was going to starve the animals to try to get even with her soon-to-be ex-husband.
Yeah, we talked about this in the last podcast.
Right. But majority of the animals did pass away, sadly.
14 of them.
Yep. She's facing criminal charges, felony charges.
Felony charges.
Which is awesome. I just, folks, I know none of you are like this. I know nobody who gives a rat is going to do any of this stuff, but it's out there. You know, these people are out there. They're sick. They're hurt because of something which created this rage, and unfortunately they take it out on innocent animals, which, you know, I understand you're upset with the significant other, but the animal is the innocent party here. So this is where Purple Leash actually steps in and tries to help out, and that is...
If you yourself are in a battered relationship or a mental abuse that you're afraid that's going to go violent, contact these folks.
Yep.
See what they can do for you. I'm all for asking.
Yep.
You don't know what you can have unless you ask for it. Again, going on a religious little kick here. I'm not sure who all Christians or believe in God, but this is, you know, my personal belief. You don't know what God can give you unless you ask for it. If you don't ask, you don't get it.
Right.
You know? So why would it hurt to ask? You know, take your tablet if you have a tablet.
Or your smartphone.
Or your smartphone. Find out. When you have a chance, you know, find out. Then erase the data in case that abuser goes through your phone. Use a friend's phone. Email us. Ask us what else can we learn about.
We've been asked weird questions in the past.
Exactly. So contact us. We'll be that middleman for you.
Yeah.
And get all the information you need.
Yep. The Groomer next door at yahoo.com. Send us an email. Send us a Facebook message.
You know, because most likely that abuser's not going to know what Purple Leash is.
Nope. It could just be anything. It could be a leash for your own dog.
Yeah. So, you know, it could be like the purple from March Dimes. You never know.
That's true. Yeah.
Contact them. See what they can do for you. See if there's anything that they might be able to help you out with in your area. Because if your pet is the only reason keeping you in that abusive relationship, if you don't have kids and the pet's the only thing, find out what they can do for you. You know, you might have to take the dog into the vet and get him registered underneath your name only so you can take it and it's only yours, even though it is marital property. But see what they can do for you. Ask. It won't hurt. I promise.
The two things that we will not stand for is animal abuse and abuse. Well, I guess it's multiple on this one, but abuse to children and to women, elderly.
Any abuse, period.
Yeah, just abuse.
You know, you and I live in a completely abuse-free zone.
Which I know may sound odd to some people. I mean, honestly, you know, yeah, you and I will kind of have a bump head every so often, but
well, we're both strong heads, so we're
and we
very
live
strong
together,
willed.
we work together,
so
and even at that, I mean,
Claire goes, "Mommy, Daddy, stop fighting." We
and
look at her. We're not fighting. This is playing.
it's like the dogs, they don't like when we play either.
No, they don't. But you know, it is so important to live in a abuse-free zone. Whether
you know, there's stress going to be in this world. You know, financial stress.
Can't say it's going to be stress-free.
No, you're going to always find stress.
Be abuse-free.
Yeah.
You know, thousands of people live without abuse. And it takes one person to stand up and say, you know what, I'm done. My mom, was in an abusive relationship, her first marriage. He was physical. Luckily, they didn't have any animals at the time, but she did have 2 kids. And he started getting abusive towards my oldest brother. And my mom had enough of it. You know, there's got to be a trigger point on when you say enough's enough.
Right.
But you have to be the one to do it.
Oh,
Especially if you're the adult and children, or the human and an animal. You have to realize when enough is enough. When is it going to be too far and he oversteps the boundary?
He or she.
Or she.
I want to make sure it's not just one gender to the other, but
he or she takes one step too far and actually ends a life.
Right. I mean, what?
You know, like that story that they got a hold of from that news. Killed the animal. Brutally killed the animal. When is it going to be that one step?
Yeah.
And don't you dare tell me, oh, he's such a good guy. I don't know why he did this. There's no signs. Folks, there's signs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signs.
That black eye that you may have, that emotional scarring that you have, that's a sign.
I didn't mean to kick the dog. I just kind of wanted to move it out of my way.
Yeah, that's a sign, folks.
Those are signs. Picks up the dog or cat by the scruff of the neck and kind of, not throws it, but kind of flicks it. That's a sign that they don't care anything about that animal's wellness, just to have some kind of control over something.
And I think that's kind of why I like this organization so much, because they're there standing up saying, we want to actually get these people out at all means, try to help them through it. I mean, they were going to, kill shelters, trying to rescue dogs before their time. We're big supporters of Rolla Animal Shelter. We watch, their stuff as closely as possible. They may be a kill shelter, but their numbers are so low. I mean, it's usually a sick dog that just cannot go any longer.
Organs shut down.
And we've seen it. We've been there. We saw it.
From coming in with parvo or anything, it can happen.
It can. So a lot of these shelters, we look at big cities. I mean, Sarah and I are from a big city. It's a little bit different in those places. It's a lot harder to get all their animals adopted when they have so much coming through their door. But still,
don't feel like you're just one person, you can't do anything.
We're 2 people, and look at what we're doing.
Well, even if you're just one single person, you go and adopt one dog every 10 years. You adopt an adult dog that you were able to have 10 years with, just saying, hypothetically. And you're able to rescue 2 or 3 dogs in one lifetime, your lifetime. That's 3 dogs that weren't killed right away.
That's true.
So that does do a difference, especially if you get them spayed and neutered right away.
Right.
That is that many dogs less that are not going to be homeless. So honestly, it really can make a difference. I mean, it kind of reminds me back to sex ed class. How they tell you the more partners you have is technically you're having their partners too.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean?
I forgot about that.
It starts with 2 people
gosh.
and all of a sudden ends with like 140.
I forgot about that.
It's that same thing. You take one dog and you spay and neuter it. It stops it from having more puppies who have more puppies, and those puppies have puppies, and those puppies have puppies.
Oh my god.
On top of the other adult dogs that already had one litter, you could be saving thousands of animals.
I almost just think I need to put that soundbite of that entire sex ed class on this episode. No, folks, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But it does make me think about it.
It reminds me of that. And being in, I had sex ed late in school. I had it in like 8th grade or something.
Really? Man, I got it in 6th.
My parents were like, no.
My mom's like, oh, no. Whatever.
Yeah,
but I'm a boy. It's different with a boy than a girl. My
parents
daughter
are
will
like,
never go in there. She's going to a church. She's becoming a nun.
So
you can date when I'm dead.
I'm like holding my face as I'm just listening to it, and I'm looking around, and I'm filled. I got boys all around me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Anywho,
I'm not even gonna.
Flashbacks to the kid youth.
Oh my gosh, I'm being bullied again. Yes, folks, even I was bullied a lot.
I was bigger than everybody.
I was the biggest kid always, and I was bullied.
I hit 5'8" in 5th grade. Have not grown since 5th grade.
Yeah, we're
That's
talking about a guy
terrible.
who's 6'7.5", and through high school was like, I think I was when I first got into high school was like probably 6'3", 6'4", something like that, and continued to grow. It's like I was the big boy, but then I just hung out with jocks, so it kind of helped.
And see, with me being 5'8" in 5th grade, that was pretty remarkable. And ever since then, I've had, this one girl. I wish I remember. I think her name was Rashawn. I'm not sure, but she came up to me. She was actually 5'10" in 5th grade. So I actually had somebody taller than me. And she had the same thing. She never grew. So she stayed 5'10" her entire, through school. And then you hit junior high, and all of a sudden people are catching up to you.
Oh, gosh.
Then you're not the biggest person. So I never had bullied.
I did, folks.
People made fun of my last name, but that was it.
I was a dork. I was a dork, and this is during the time when being a dork wasn't cool. That's the sad part. I really was ahead of my time. I think all of us will always talk back about our when we were a kid moment. Yeah.
Well, it's like wearing bandanas. I started wearing bandanas back before they were cool. Honestly, I had a bandana. People made fun of me because I was wearing bandanas in my hair and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden comes out in this urban fashion magazine, and it's just a big hit. Well, then I wore those jeans that were bleached at the bottom, and then got darker towards the waist.
Yeah.
I got made fun of that. Oh my gosh! People are like, what? Did someone dump you in bleach? Did someone dip you in bleach? Made fun of me.
I always saw that though. I always saw that. That's weird.
And sure enough, it came out in a magazine. All of a sudden, it was all the craze, and I was like, oh, smack my head.
We went from a pet podcast to a fashion podcast to how I was bullied, and my childhood was rough because kids are mean.
Reminiscing.
I guess we're going to just be like a multi-podcast from now on.
Sorry.
But,
we got to try to keep it light, even with a dark subject like this.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's great about the Purple Leash is the fact that they're out there. They're doing such a good thing for people. And, you need those kind of people. You need these kind of volunteers who go out and they do their walk. They're publicly seen. It's a great thing. Again, folks, please go to purpleleash.com. Take a look at what they do. I mean, I know that they have a donation page on there, so if you feel like you wanted to actually give to them, there's something there. You want to learn more about them, you want to contact them.
It would be great to partner up with them and have a Purple Leash walk here too.
It would be nice.
Hold it actually in like St. James or something, since Rolla has Strut Your Mutt.
Yep. Well, we could always just do another event
in early spring or something like that, and do Strut Your Mutt in the later part.
Yeah, we could do something. I mean, unfortunately, I know Purple Leash asked me last night if I received any of their information. I did not receive any information from them. Obviously, we'll talk more about these guys because we really do want to be friends with you guys. Everybody who is involved in Purple Leash, we commend you guys for all that you do. Anybody who wants to be part of Purple Leash, go to their Facebook page, go to their website. They're always taking for volunteers. They need volunteers, just like every other organization out there needs volunteers. As time goes on, the luxury of having Animal Wellness Magazine as a partner of ours, being good friends with them now. We'll learn about more organizations. We'll talk about more of their organizations as well.
And they're always welcome to send us information that they want us to talk about. I mean, it's the same thing with Rolla, Animal Shelter, Humane Society in St. James. Anywhere, if you want to get information out, yes, we're still a small podcast. We're growing.
Yeah, but we can build. We have that vehicle to just be out there.
So we'll be more than happy to touch on it or do a whole segment on it.
Oh, yeah.
A whole show. More than happy to do it.
Well, this is what gets it out there. We already have great listeners that we've been able to, join up with us since we started, and we are still relatively new. Love all of our listeners, especially all of you. Yeah. If you've been listening since episode 1, I mean, that's just awesome.
I do have to say, a big thank you to April.
Oh, yes, that was awesome. Go ahead.
So, I'm in dire pain at the hospital, and I am just hurting. It won't stop. They gave me a Percocet, okay? A hefty Percocet. since there's different grades.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
that's how I knew I wasn't going back to work, is that they were going to give me a Percocet. Well, they gave me the Percocet. That didn't even work.
Nope, it didn't work.
It didn't even faze me.
30 minutes later, like, so how you feel? The same. Really?
Yeah,
45 minutes later, how do you feel? The same.
Give me something. Anywho, so absolute just horrible pain, to the point where I had to actually stand while they put the IV in, since it hurt so bad to sit. So I was sitting up while they were giving me the IV. That's how bad it was. And then they drew blood while I was standing up because I couldn't sit. And you'd think they'd do that stuff after we got painkillers, but I guess they wanted my blood before.
Actually, they took your blood right away.
Yeah, they did.
And they didn't give it back to you either.
Right.
My blood.
April went and went on her computer and typed up a, please, hope you get well soon, Sarah Green, and put it around Lego's neck. She woke Lego up from his nap, took him outside, put this little note around his neck, and it said, "Love Lego."
And posted on Facebook.
Yeah, and posted on Lego's Facebook. That was so sweet. Oh
Which
my gosh.
I'm going to actually post that picture on our website. It'll go in our photo gallery. It's got to go up there. I'm going to put that up there, April. It's going up there. It was
just so sweet, I mean, it's nice to know that there's people out there that care about us.
Right.
Even though
that we're at least making somewhat of a difference.
90% of our podcast is banter. But
every podcast is banter. At least we're not Opie and Anthony.
Yeah, true. We get kick off for racial slurs.
Right. Yeah, we won't do the racial slurs.
That made me mad hearing that.
That was kind of. I mean, okay, the guy gets punched by a woman. That's wrong. In general, it doesn't matter what race she is. Doesn't matter anything. And then to start going on your Twitter, where you have a large listening base. I mean, I guess...
What? How do you think you're not getting kicked off
I don't know. I mean, when you're a shock jock, I guess that's kind of it. If I say something even remotely out, it's going to get something. I just don't understand. I mean, and I listen to all kinds of radio where, I like multiple different layers of morning podcast or morning radio talk show hosts. I do like it. I'll listen to it in podcast form. I do enjoy that, but I won't take that kind. I mean, I won't even listen to Howard Stern because it does cross lines, a lot of lines. I mean, I don't personally want to think of women as
objects.
Yeah, it's just, and not because I'm trying to be, some holier than thou guy or. I have a daughter. I respect my daughter. I respect my wife. I was raised by my mom and grandmother. I think I learned some standards. It's just my personal opinion, but I mean, you saw all the stuff I listened to. I mean, I used to listen in California. I would listen to 98.7, which was Star 98.7. Thank you. I used to listen to a morning. I still listen to them. I mean, we actually we were heard from one of the DJs from K-Rock, Lisa May. She actually watched our video from Rolla Animal Shelter and sent me a tweet saying how she was impressed by the video.
Yeah, that's pretty nice to be recognized from
she's a big name. I mean, that was amazing. I don't know if you actually listen to our show. If you do, oh my gosh, I'm kind of geeking out for it because I listen to her and her group, Kevin and Bean. I listen to that podcast every day, so it's kind of cool to hear people that you listen to and you respect that they like what you're doing. That's pretty awesome.
That's what's pretty awesome with April. I respect what she's trying to do.
I do
Lego.
totally.
And St. James has such a strict, AM staff, American Staffordshire Terrier, Pit Bull Terrier. They have such strict rules on them.
Yep.
And what it needs to happen, you don't need to punish the dog. You need to punish the people.
That's it.
You go to California, and unfortunately, a lot of gangbangers out there love pit bulls.
Yep.
They love Rottweilers.
Yep.
So they get that stigmata that pit bulls are bad. I can only recount a few times in my life that we didn't have a pit bull. When I lived with my cousins, they had 2 pit bulls that were unfortunately and abruptly taken for no reason. Buddy and Precious were the 2 names. They said Buddy attacked a chow and slit its throat open. And that's not the case. That's not what happened. The actual owner of the dog slit the dog's throat. It was a clean cut. And if a dog's going to go for a throat, and chows have so much hair around their neck, it's pretty darn impossible for a pit bull to get its mouth around and actually slice skin. So they took the dog from him, and put him to sleep. It's ridiculous.
It is.
It's absolutely ridiculous what, the name of pit bulls. I don't let Roxy stay alone with Claire. But when we play soccer, Roxy will attack the soccer ball.
She will attack me. Well, not attack. She will play. It's a play.
Oh, yeah, she plays defense.
Yeah, she plays goalie
Yeah.
with the soccer ball. She will jump in front of me, and she will block the ball, and then she'll kind of almost kick it around. It's really a cool thing to watch. But she won't do that with Claire.
No, that ball gets halfway between you and Claire, and
she stops.
Stops.
Yeah, she's immediately stopped, and it comes right back to me. It's amazing how that dog is.
And then if somebody's threatening our home, Roxy's the first one there in front of my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how it was with Buddy and Precious. And April's out there trying to give out proper information about this. Because, you look at Akita. Where I've seen Akitas in the U.S., they haven't been aggressive. You don't want to mess with Akitas. You want to be properly introduced. That's just their mentality. But you don't see a rogue Akita here. Well, over in the UK, you see rogue Akitas all the time.
Yep.
The one Akita page I'm a fan of talk about how, Akitas are completely aggressive and all these different things over there in Europe. But yet you look here, I haven't seen an aggressive Akita case. Nope.
And I'm on the same page as you are. I talk occasionally like you do, and you hear it all the time.
You don't see very many Akitas in the U.S. There are some out there. There's quite a bit. The one guy down the street has like 4 of them. The one that lives next to Craig.
Oh, okay. I was like...
And he's got one long-haired and a couple other regular Akitas. But it's the same thing. It's how the mentality was handled originally when the dog was young.
Now back to pit bull. On a weird note, did you know the actual musician Pitbull is getting a star on the Walk of Fame? Really? Seriously?
He has like the same song over and over again, different words.
I know, right? If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you're going to be like...
I don't like mindless music anyways, so...
some of his stuff, it's like the first time you hear it, or a little bit, it's like, okay, but...
Party music, you can go and dance to, okay.
It's like LMFAO. It's kind of like you expect it in a club, but I'm sorry, a star on the Walk of Fame? Really? I know this is off topic, but since you mentioned Pitbull, I thought I would throw that in there.
I want someone to yell, "Hey, Pitbull Terrier! What's up? I love you, man!"
I'm pretty sure they have. I'd almost be surprised they have.
Call him PBT.
PBT.
Pitbull Terrier.
Wow. And on that note...
There you go, the kid. Hey, are you a Pitbull Terrier mix?
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Pitbull mix, get it?
I get it. So if anybody's noticed, we're actually releasing this episode a day early. We're going to release it on Sunday instead of Monday, just because we want to make sure that these guys get this thing as soon as possible. So we're kind of doing it early, putting it out there early, just because we want this out there. We're doing it for Animal Wellness Magazine, and we're doing this for Purple Leash to get it out early.
My thing with it is, I've always said, you don't have to like one particular thing, or you don't have to go with what we say.
Right.
If there's an animal shelter in your area that is near and dear to your heart, take your time and energy or money and spend that time with them. But for those who have been victim of abuse, who like the goal that Animal Wellness Magazine is trying to get to, take a look.
Oh, yeah.
The people who are dealing with being, abused and afraid to leave because their dog, they have nowhere to go. I don't know women's shelters that take in animals too. I don't know of any.
I don't know. I do know that a lot of shelters itself, like Raw Animal Shelter, Tri-County, I know that they do take dogs in
For temporary.
And there was, I think, a commentary by John Redshaw about that. I forget if he mentioned it or we talked about it off air. I can't remember, but if they do take them in, but it is a temporary situation, which could be the same.
So just find out. You're never alone.
Nope.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's up to you to see it.
Yeah, you got to go and reach for it, but there's going to definitely be people out there with their hands out to try to help you.
Don't wait too late to where your animal's going to end up like Buddy and kicked.
Or you're in worse shape.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You just want to make sure that you get out with your animals. If you have kids, you want to get them out as soon as possible. You don't want them subjected to it because they'll learn it.
When that step over line is going to be, and you don't want emotional scarring. Dogs can have emotional scarring. I've known dogs that people told me, please don't talk loudly.
Yep.
The dog's very sensitive to loud talkers. And sure enough, we start laughing and start talking loudly because that's kind of how I am. I've had my eardrums pierced before from ear infections, so I've lost some of my hearing. On top of the blow dryers, the barking dogs, so my hearing is not the greatest.
What?
So I tend to speak louder than most, and one of the dogs that I saw ended up whimpering behind the couch, and it was just laughing and loud talking. That's all there was.
Look at Roxy when we play, or when Elizabeth and I played. He thought that I was, or she thought that I was hurting her. No, I'm just playing with her.
She stops it right then and there, so you can't play.
Yep.
So dogs can have mental abuse. Cats can have mental abuse.
Yep.
Cats can get so scared that they go and hide all day when somebody comes over.
Yep.
So it's up to you to help others. It's not just you affected. There's others.
There is. There's
so
a lot.
It's up to you to do it.
Well, as always, folks, like we always like to say thank you very much to Squarespace.com. They're the ones that help us out with our website. If you don't know about our website, it's the Groomer Next Door at .squarespace.com. All of our stuff about our show, different content that we go on is on there. We have some content now about Purple Leash under organizations. We put that on there.
And if you see a typo somewhere, please let us know.
Yeah.
I just went on a website not too long ago.
Not ours, right?
Not ours.
Okay,
on
thank
this
goodness.
other website. And every other word was messed up.
Yeah.
So
we're meticulous, but obviously sometimes there's a lot always going on.
It's like using the word do.
You said do.
Just let us know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it could happen. It definitely can happen. We are human. But take a look. We always talk about Podbean, how good they are to us. If we're not anything, we're trying to be as good to everybody as possible. So, everybody, that's episode 35. I'm Chris Green. Have a PUPtastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green. Make sure everybody realizes life is short. Play with your pet.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime.